You hear a lot of people talk about saving money, and it really comes down to one thing. That one thing is sacrifice. Before we dig into the ways that I recommend on saving money, I want to preface it by saying saving money is great, but it definitely should not be the main driver and focus of your financial freedom journey. With that being said, I do not believe in the FIRE movement. The idea of FIRE, financial independence, retire early, can be defined as a movement of people devoted to a program of extreme savings and investment that aims to allow them to retire far earlier than traditional budgets and retirement plans would permit. While this may work for some, I believe this limits people's true potential by putting them in a scarcity mindset. So like I said, while financial independence certainly involves saving and living below your means, don't let this be the main driver to get there. With that being said, let's move on and get right into it. I'm sure many of you are aware of your largest expenses that you currently have, and number one, of course, at the top is housing at 33.8%, followed by transportation at 16.4%, and finally food at 12.4%. If you can focus on these three expenses and reduce them, it's going to make way more of an impact than focusing on these expenses, right? Apparel at 2.6% or around there, education, reading 2%, alcoholic beverages, entertainment 6.2%. If you can eliminate your housing by half or cut it in half, you are literally saving so much more than any savings created from these small expenses, right? So that's why the biggest way to save money is focusing on housing, transportation, and food. It's that simple. And like I said, it certainly takes time, strategic planning, and most importantly, sacrifice. Number one, housing expense. Your housing is most likely your biggest expense every month. So doesn't it make sense that if you focus on this and decrease this expense, that you'll have the biggest impact? Number one, move to a cheaper area. If you work remotely and if you can afford to move to a different area, this can be a great way to decrease your housing expense. Take a look at this. This is a map that shows the percentage of the average resident's income it takes to cover estimated monthly mortgage costs. You can see the blue states under 15%, the yellow states 15 to 29%, and the pink states over 30%, guys. You can see a lot of these states are in the Midwest. Don't let that fool you. There's plenty of great communities in the United States within these regions, thriving communities that have great quality of life. I know moving is a big decision, but if you're up for it, this can be one of the best ways to decrease your housing expense. Number two, house hacking. This is my personal favorite. The first property that I house hacked was a duplex located in St. Paul, Minnesota when I lived there. And here you can see a picture of it. This is an upper and lower duplex. Here is a breakdown of the mortgage and expenses on the property. So I bought it for $190,000. I put 3.5% down. There's a 30-year fixed, 3.5% interest. The property taxes were $29.50 a year. Homeowners insurance was about $12.60 per year. My total payment, including PMI, was $13.24 per month. And if you guys really want to be impressed, here's just a breakdown of the numbers on the property. The lower rent was $1,300 per month. I lived in the upper unit, which was a 3-bedroom, and I had 2 roommates, each in the other 2 bedrooms. They were each paying me $500 a month. So the total income was $2,300 per month. My PITI was $1,324 per month, and the utilities were about $250 per month. So my total cost, not including repairs and maintenance, things like that, was $1,574 per month. So I was actually getting paid $726 on average per month to live in this property. In order to house hack, you don't need a ton of money, or income in order to achieve this with an FHA loan. It was 3.5% down, and I was able to use a grant from the city of St. Paul. Not every city has this. Look into your county websites. They gave me a $10,000 grant, which is technically a second mortgage on the home, and I was able to get into this house hack for $0 down. This is a great strategy, and if it's something that your city offers, I would certainly recommend it. Other ways you can house hack is rent a single bedroom on Airbnb, or even to a long-term friend or possible tenant. So let's take a quick example of an Airbnb where you rent out your room, right? Let's just say you live in Tampa. Okay, we're gonna go flexible dates. Number of guests, let's just say 2 guests, right? Any week, let's just search for this. All right, now let's go to filters. Let's go to private room, and let's show 1,000 results. Look at this, you guys. So we have plenty of options for private rooms, ranging from $50 a night all the way up to $159 per night. So you can clearly see that you could potentially make some great money using this strategy. Just for a quick numbers breakdown, take a look at this. All right, let's say you average 40% occupancy. So that equals 146 nights rented out at $50 per night times 146 nights. That is $7,300 per year. That might not sound like a lot, but broken down monthly, that's $608 per month. That is a decent chunk of change to cover some of your expenses. Finally, let's look at some bonus ways that you can save money on your housing expense. One way is you can do a live-in flip. This is where you buy a home that needs some work, and as you're living there, you can fix it up, and after 2 years, you can sell the property tax-free as it was your personal residence, and ideally for more than what you bought it for. Next, you can downsize. So if you're living in too big of a home and you don't need all the space, consider moving to a smaller home to save money on your housing expense. Next, when you're buying a home, make sure your credit is as high as it can be, and consider improving your credit before you purchase a home in order to get the best interest rates. This will help you save a ton of money on your interest payments over the life of your loan. And finally, if you have a government loan such as an FHA loan, they have private mortgage insurance. It is permanent until you refinance your loan. So if you have more than 20% equity in your house, you can refinance and remove that private mortgage insurance to save money on your monthly payments. Number 2, transportation. Transportation is the second biggest household expense. And just like with housing, there are several ways that you can help reduce this expense for your household. The first way, simple enough, buy a cheaper car. There are still plenty of great used cars out there for an awesome price. So let's take a look at cars.com. So we'll go under used. We'll go to all make and models. Let's just say price under $10,000. We'll do my zip code and any distance for me. So as you can see, there are plenty of options here. Granted, some vehicles are better than others, and some are better deals in terms of pricing and the mileage, but this is where it takes just digging through anything you can, looking at different websites, looking at different auto dealerships, and finding a good deal. If you do enough searching, you will find one. So here's a car I just picked out at random. It's a 2011 Chevy Traverse. You can see it has a little bit higher miles, but it is a pretty fair price. You can see according to cars.com, it is a great deal compared to similar cars or the same car with similar mileage. Taking a look at Edmunds, let's now type in the car's information here. So it's a Chevrolet Traverse, and it's a 2011. There we go. Okay, so all trims. So it is an LT1, and this gives us the specific car. We can see the reviews here, which is the best part. Gives us a pros and cons breakdown. Like I said, the best part is seeing actual customer reviews so we can see what their experience has been. And this car doesn't seem to be the most reliable looking at some of these issues. So this is a great way just to search for different vehicles and find out what actual owners have said about it. Okay, moving on to the second way, buy a more fuel efficient car. If you are driving a large vehicle or one with low MPG rating, consider buying a smaller, more economical car if this is a possibility for you. This is especially helpful when gas prices are high, which we are experiencing right now. Number 3, save money on commuting and travel. You can do this by carpooling. You can drive less, so bike and walk more if your city allows it. And if you're not already, try and avoid rush hour. You can also save money on transportation and travel by using public transportation more often. Usually you save a significant amount of money, especially when you factor in wear and tear on your car, if you use public transportation. So use it whenever you can. And if you use it often, get a monthly pass, as most cities have this as a more cost-effective option. Fourth, use apps like Uber, Lyft, and Turo to offset your transportation expenses. Okay, the fourth way to save on your monthly transportation expense is to use apps like Uber, Lyft, and Turo. So these are actually income generating apps which can offset your transportation expense. If you don't use your car all the time, Turo can be a great way to earn extra income while your car would have been sitting anyway. So let's jump right into Turo here. From there, you can click Become a Host, and this goes over everything what it takes to become a host on Turo. Now keep in mind, it has certain restrictions, so let's take a look at those. So we can go right on the Turo website and find the vehicle type and registration, as well as the vehicle condition. So this goes over just some of the things that your vehicle has to be up to date with. So, no more than 12 years old, fewer than 130,000 miles, and so on. And finally, fifth, save money on maintenance and auto insurance. Finally, the last way to save on transportation is focus on consistent maintenance as well as your insurance expense. You have the potential to save thousands of dollars over the years on your transportation costs by getting regular maintenance done. This can help prolong the life of your car, and the longer you're able to drive your car, the more bang for your buck you're able to get. When having maintenance done on your vehicle, do not use the dealership. This is typically the most expensive place that you can choose to have repairs and maintenance done. Instead, research local mechanics, read reviews, and be very picky on the company that you choose. Shifting to car insurance, you need to shop regularly. Use apps like Jerry and Root to shop around and find the best rate among all the carriers out there. You can also bundle and save your auto insurance with, for example, your home insurance to help you save more money. And you can also increase your deductible to help lower your premium. And finally, number 3, food costs. All right, moving on to the last area where you can save a ton of money on a monthly basis is decreasing your food costs. This is your third largest expense, and you probably know to eat out less and do more cooking, right? If you've been through college, you probably already know what this is all about. You know about the ramen noodle and mac and cheese diet, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I'll go over a few actionable changes that you can make in order to save more money on your monthly food costs. The first way is to track your food expenditures. Over the time frame of a month, track all your expenses related to food, whether you have to write this down physically or you use a mobile app like Mint Mobile. This will help you identify where you can immediately save money, as you'll have a handle on your daily meal patterns, which you can then use to incorporate changes that work in your diet and budget. Secondly, make a shopping list and stick to it. Here are 3 different ways that you can create a shopping list. 1, you can do a route through the store, so per aisle. 2, you can do by department. And 3, simply make a meal plan for every day of the week. Stick to your list, stay disciplined, and you'll be right on track. Number 3, buy in bulk. Okay, next is buying in bulk. So with this, stick to food items that you typically normally eat, as well as non-perishable food items. This helps save on waste and your wallet. And finally, shop down. The last way to save on your food costs is to shop down. So what I mean by this is, instead of shopping at Whole Foods, Wegmans, Target, places like that, maybe shift and shop at Walmart, Aldi's, Trader Joe's, whatever is in your local market to help you save on food costs. Between these different retailers, there is a big difference in the price of food items. In order to make the biggest impact on your life financially, you need to focus on those 3 biggest expenses: housing, transportation, and food costs. However, don't make this your main priority to achieve financial freedom. This will put you in a scarcity mindset, which actually limits your ability to make more income in the future. What I have done and what I recommend is incorporate these money-saving techniques while you're simultaneously increasing your income. This will help accelerate growth and give you the mental capacity to focus on ways to generate more income, such as side hustles, part-time jobs, anything you can do in order to generate more income and then not have to worry about paying your bills at the end of the month. I challenge you as an audience to change your life financially by actually focusing on what matters. And as I've said, that's housing, transportation, and food costs. Decrease these 3 items and you will be right on track to financial independence. If you got any comments, questions, leave them down in the comments section below. I'm gonna read and reply to everything. Look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Like and subscribe. Thanks.